I do not encourage nor condone any of the actions performed or products shown in this video. All of the videos are produced in a safe and controlled environment. Do not attempt to replicate any of the actions performed during this video.
Hello beautiful people from the internet, it is Connie over here. Welcome back to another video. Now you know the drill, it's the yearly Q&A session. I asked you to ask me some questions on Instagram and you delivered, and I wrote them down here as long as my definition of Inyan, because I just watched Past Lives, the movie, and I thought it was amazing and I'm a little bit obsessed. Let's start with the first question as I show you also what I'm going to be smoking today. That is going to be Camel Activate Raspberry Cigarillo, and I also have my chicken rabbit lighter and my portable ashtray, very handy materials to be smoking outside. And the first question I have here is, why did you choose the name Connie? Now, actually Connie was not my first choice of name for online. Most of you maybe know or don't know that my real name is not Connie. I made it up for the internet, and my first choice was actually Piper, and I recorded one video in which I said, "Hi guys, it's Piper."
Hi guys, it's Piper.
But that felt just so unnatural to me that I went in search of something that felt a little bit more like me. And then I remembered that my real name actually sounds a little bit like Connie anyway, if you really twist your mind to it. And I also really used to love a girl. She's a singer and she went to Britain's Got Talent when she was very, very young, and her name is Connie Talbot. And so I was like, well, I think I just want to call myself Connie because I like this girl that's called Connie, and I think the name sounds similar enough to mine. The next question is, what do you enjoy about making YouTube videos and how has it changed your life? The thing that I enjoy the most is the community, you know, the conversation that we get to have in the comments after I publish a video. I just think it's the most beautiful thing. I love talking to you guys, getting to know more of you guys. Through making YouTube videos, I have realized that I really love streaming too, and I think streaming is probably one of the best parts because I get to interact with everyone in real time, and I start to know people's names and things that they like because they share those sorts of things in chat, and it's just really nice. I really love the feeling of community. Also, I really love the craft, you know, learning more about color correction, color grading, angles of things, how to stand in front of the light correctly, which I'm currently not doing. The light today is very odd, as you can probably tell. Just learning how to edit better and, you know, grow a new skill. I always think that's a very exciting thing to do. And it has changed my life in the way I stopped doubting myself so much, you know, because through being able to make YouTube work somehow, I think I've realized that I'm capable of a lot more I thought I am, or I thought I was. Before I started YouTube, if you told me I would ever be able to grow a YouTube channel, I would tell you you're crazy and run the other way because I would be afraid of you. I think somehow I've been able to do that, which is something I never thought I would, and so it has taught me, you know, if there's something I want to do, I can probably do it if I put my mind to it and if I work towards it, you know. So yeah, it has been a nice journey. In the car coming here, I was listening to The Black Parade, my favorite album by My Chemical Romance. Oh my goodness, you guys need to go check it out. Maybe you won't like it, maybe you will. It's lovely. A lot of you guys probably know about it already. I mean, it was one of the biggest albums of the 2000s, I think, in the emo genre. Fantastic. My emo kid is coming back. What's the worst cigarette in your opinion? This is very easy for me. Lucky Strike Ember. No questions asked. Do not give me that cigarette. I will not smoke it. Actually, last time I smoked it was more than 2 years ago, so maybe I need to drop my preconceived ideas and try it again. Maybe I'll like it. Probably not though. It's really bad. Next question is, how do you manage to keep smoking such a small amount of cigarettes per day? I would say it's a matter of managing my tolerance. So I try to keep my tolerance very low. And I believe that this is the way that I've been able to smoke so little. If your body cannot handle more nicotine, you will not want to have more nicotine, you know? And if I smoke more than 2 cigarettes in a row, I will definitely be sick. A lot of times if I smoke 2 cigarettes in a row, I will have nicotine sickness, which is just nausea, anxiety, headache, all of these symptoms. And so through self-discipline and telling myself no, a lot of times per day when I feel like smoking another cigarette, I've been able to smoke only one, and my body can handle about that much per day, you know. I sometimes smoke 2 cigarettes per day, do not get me wrong, but it never feels great to smoke more than that, you know. So just telling myself no when I get the craving for more, telling myself tomorrow is another day, I can smoke again tomorrow, and just keeping my tolerance low has really helped me be able to smoke so little. It's never little enough, you know, you should not smoke at all. I do know this, but what's one piece of advice you'd give everyone because it changed your life? I would definitely say This piece of advice came to me last year when I was reading Epictetus, the manual, and he made an analogy. He said, you know, if you were out on the street and someone tried to grab you and take you away, you know, take your physical body and do whatever they wanted with it, you will most likely resist. You know, you would not allow them, you would try to fight them off, you would try to run away. So why do you allow people to invade your mental space like that? Why do you allow people to make you feel stressed, angry, sad? You know, you must understand that the way that people react towards you is first of all a reflection of them, and only then a reflection of you, you know. If someone is acting kind towards you, that's a reflection of them. They are a kind person, they are someone who likes to spread positivity and give you a compliment. If someone is acting angry or mean towards you, that is a reflection of them. It means that they are intrinsically a person who is sad or frustrated with their own life, and they are projecting that onto you. And it's none of your business, and it's not your problem. If someone is attacking your mental space, that is a reflection of them and not you. Therefore, it's not your problem. So do not let them invade your mental space, just like you wouldn't let them invade your physical space, you know. This may seem very simple, but it has truly revolutionized my life. Every time I feel like I'm getting too angry or too sad about something that someone did, I just remind myself, hey, let's not let them invade my mental space. This is supposed to be a cozy, peaceful place for me to be. I'd like to keep it that way, so let's not allow this person to get in here and do whatever they want with my mental space. I really love that. I really love that. I love Epictetus. Epictetus, if you're watching, I love you, man. You have a very positive character. What has built the person you are today? I think the reason why I'm so positive, and this is gonna sound like a lot of me, but you know, strap on. I would say it's probably because I went through a lot of pain and hard times and sadness when I was younger. And I think when you go through that amount of suffering, you turn out one of two ways. You either become very angry because it's unfair and you don't understand why this happened to you, and you turn your anger towards the world and you become bitter and sad and mad. Or you realize that probably everyone else is suffering as much, a little less, or a little more than you, or a lot more than you, and you want to spread kindness because you never want anyone else to feel the sort of way you did. You want to try and help people come out of their respective holes of hopelessness, and you try to just spread positivity as much as you can because you'd like to make a difference, you know? It's a little bit egoistical, of course. It always comes back to, what can I do to make myself feel better, to know that I did something to help someone else? But I just try to help as much as I can, you know, give a smile to someone on the street, say good morning, or just ask people how they're doing if I haven't spoken to them in a little bit, just to make sure that they know they have someone there. So I would say what has built me is probably my pain, and I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Have you ever been to Brazil or wanted to travel there? I have never been to Brazil, but I'd like to visit because my dad was actually born in Brazil. A big part of my dad's side of the family lived in Brazil for upwards of 10 years. And so I would like to go there, to the places where they used to live, and see how things were, how things are now. Also, I just think Brazilian people are some of the most outgoing, extroverted and fun peoples I've met. Some of the most fun people I've met, and so I'd like to immerse myself in a place where these are the people that exist. I'll have a lot of fun probably. I think I would let my extroverted side come out a little bit more there too, so I just like to know how I would feel in Brazil. It's definitely a place I'd like to visit. Have you ever been to America? If not, would you like to go? I have never been to America, and I don't think I have a very specific desire to go to America. It's not a place I have any connection to. I don't know anyone in America or anyone that has ever gone to America. And so, I don't know, maybe I need to explore more about it on the internet to gather a new perspective. At this point in time, I don't think it's a place I'd like to visit, honestly, because of multiple different reasons. I would say I've never been there and probably would not like to go there, at least at this point in time. Favorite book you've read so far this year? Definitely Letters to a Young Poet by Rilke. It has become my favorite book of all time, and I would definitely recommend. It's a very short book, it's very beautiful, it gives such beautiful life advice, it has some of the most beautiful passages I've read in a book, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I've given that book to so many people, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things I've read. Give it a try. What is your favorite flower? I would say definitely daisies. I love daisies. They just exude some sort of happiness and peace. Whenever I look at them, I just feel so content, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, what a beautiful flower. And I love that they spawn in the wild too. Well, of course they spawn in the wild, every flower spawns in the wild, but you know what I mean. Sometimes I'm walking down the street and I see a plot of grass and there's some daisies growing in it, and I just think it's so beautiful. I immediately feel so happy when I look at them. Do you sometimes feel behind in life? I would say definitely. I think this is a very common experience, especially amongst younger people, but also maybe older people. I'm not sure because I'm not old enough to understand yet, maybe, but you know, especially when I'm comparing my life to other people in social media, I start wondering, hey, this person is about my age, maybe a bit younger, and they have achieved all of these things, and why am I here and I feel like I haven't achieved even half of it, you know? And that is very dangerous because we're not on the same path. We all have a different deck of circumstances that we were dealt, and it's unfair to compare our path with someone else's because it will never be the same. And I do understand this, but sometimes when you're on social media too much, it's difficult to draw the line between where do I end and where does the other begin, and why have I not achieved as much as they have. But you just really have to get out of that mental space and just understand that you're taking your own step, and it's the right step because it's the one that you are taking, you know? However much time you take to achieve something, it's only about you and not about anyone else, you know? This is your path, not someone else's. And this is what I keep telling myself whenever I start feeling like I'm behind. Just stop comparing myself. That's what I tell myself. Is your car a Nissan Micra? My car is a Nissan Micra K12 from 2003. It is very nice, 65 horsepower, sort of slow, like I like them. And it's just very compact, very cute. It looks a little bit fugly, and I love that about it. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. I've had it for 5 years. It has always done me very well, never failed me. And I love it very much. I'd like to keep it until the end of my life if I can. What fictional books would you recommend? I would definitely say The Unbearable Lightness of Being, very beautiful romance, very raw, very nude type of romance. I really loved it. White Nights by Dostoevsky, a different sort of romance. Maybe you wouldn't even consider it a romance, but more like an insane character falling in love. And The Death of Ivan Ilyich, which is about the death of a man called Ivan Ilyich. Very raw too. I think I really love this sort of raw descriptions of life, and so I gravitate towards those sorts of books. But yeah, I definitely recommend these three, and Letters to a Young Poet too, of course. What's the most cigarettes you've smoked in a day? I think it was on my birthday 2024 when I turned 23. I was doing a live stream with everyone on the channel, and I think I got up to 4 or 5 on that live stream, and we were like chatting about how this was the most I had ever smoked and it would probably never happen again. It was a fun time. It was a really fun live stream that I did, and I loved chatting with everyone. And I think it was about 4 or 5. It's either one or the other, but I don't remember exactly which. Are you single? I am not single. I've been in a relationship for the past 4 years, and it has been a very beautiful, happy relationship so far. And I can definitely see myself spend the rest of my life with my current partner, and I'd love for that to be the case. Not single. Relationship for 4 years. It has been very nice. I'm very content. How do you get rid of phone addiction? I would say that I definitely struggled with this too in the past. The first step that I remember taking when I realized I had a problem with phone addiction was deleting TikTok, because that was the root of most of my problems. That was summer of last year, so I've been TikTok free for a year now. Yay! I'm sober. Then I set limits, time limits on my phone. So after half an hour of being on my phone, most of the applications that are fun, like Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, they just shut off. They don't work anymore. And so that really helps me be like, oh my goodness, I've been here for half an hour, time to go live life, you know? I think having a lot of hobbies also helps, you know, or just 1 or 2. Just figure out some things that you like doing and try to do more of them. Try to discover hobbies you'd like to do. For example, for me, I love journaling, I love crocheting, I love playing video games, I love playing instruments. And so these are things that when I have free time, I go and do instead of scrolling on my phone. Sometimes it can be hard to have the motivation to try new things when you are very tired from, you know, your work day or your school day. But scrolling infinitely will just make you feel very sick. At least it had made me feel very sick. I would leave my phone feeling nauseated and just low and sad. And I just realized, you know, it may take a little bit of an effort to go and do these other things, but when I finish doing them and while I'm doing them, I actually feel a lot better than when I'm just scrolling on my phone. So just find the things that you like doing and do more of them instead of being on your phone so much. I know it's hard, but you'll be able to do it, I believe. What do you think is the most important thing in life? I would definitely say community, connection to people, having a mom or a dad or a brother or a friend or someone in your community that you can talk to and rely on for support, emotional support of course, and someone that you can talk to, you know, someone that you can confide in. I think that's probably the most important thing. You know, humans have always thrived on connection with other humans. If not that, I don't know what it would be. So I would say having someone in your life that you love very much and that loves you back. Doesn't have to be romantically, can be a friend, family member, but just having someone there for you, you know, and being there for someone also feels very rewarding. If you could live out of one smell for the rest of your life, what would it be? Now, I thought a little bit about this, and I think I do not have one answer. I think I have two. Because for the summertime, I really love fresh air scents like lavender, jasmine. My favorite scent of all time though is vanilla, although I think that vanilla can get a bit too warm in the summertime, so that's why I have two answers. For the colder months, I love vanilla. Always love vanilla, candles, incense, perfume, whatever it is. For the hotter months, I guess I prefer fresher scents like lavender and jasmine. So, do you feel like smoking 1 or 2 cigs per day mitigates potential health risks long term? I would say no, and that's also not the reason why I smoke so little. It's more so to preserve my wallet and also to keep building self-discipline and resilience towards a substance. But actually, there's some studies that have concluded that the risk of heart disease associated with smoking 1 cigarette per day is only 15% of the risk associated of someone who, say, smokes 10 to 15 cigarettes per day, you know? You would expect that if you smoke 1 cigarette per day, you only have 10% the chance of someone who smokes 10. But that has proven to be incorrect, and so it would be also incorrect of me to say that I think it mitigates. I don't know, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but that's not really what I'm thinking about when I'm smoking the amount that I'm smoking daily, you know? What is 2 things you tell your younger self? I don't know if I have 2 things to say to my younger self. I think there's one thing that I could say that I know would really help, which is if I could go to the past, look at me and say, hey, it's me from the future, we're alive, we're happy, it's going to be okay, you know, just get through these years. I know it's difficult, but I believe in you. You have to believe in yourself as well. If you have to drag yourself through these years, then drag yourself through these years, but get to the other side, and I promise it will be okay. And I think if younger me saw older me say this to her, she would probably believe it, and she would maybe feel a little bit more at ease knowing we got through it, you know, and we're happy. And so I would say keep on going, you're gonna be okay. And then the last question is, how did you learn / improve your English? This is a question that I get a lot of times, and I would say it has definitely been through exposure. I've consumed mainly English content or American content, English speaking content, ever since I was about 11 or 12 years old. Of course, at first I wouldn't understand anything, you know, I was just watching these videos of beauty gurus that I thought were very interesting because I had never heard of life in America or life in Britain, and I was very curious to see what daily life for these people were. And so I just watched these videos, and I started making connections. When they said a certain word and pointed at an object, I knew that object was that word. And I don't really know how it happened, but somehow I learned all my English through that method, and these days I'm able to understand absolutely everything. I read mainly in English, sometimes I journal in English, sometimes I think in English, I make my videos in English, and I think the way I've been able to improve my spoken English has been through having this channel actually. When I started, of course I could already speak, but it was not as well as I think I do now. And so just exposure, you know, listening to a lot of English and just speaking a lot of English until I felt comfortable doing it. And here I am. I can fully understand and speak it now, and I would say I'm fluent. I think I'm fluent in English. I think I understand as much English as I do Portuguese, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, these have been the questions for today. Thank you so much for listening to me, my friends. It means the whole world. And if you're out there, if you're struggling, just know I'm here. You can rely on this channel, you can chat in the comments, you can send me a message if you need to. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and just know you'll be okay, alright? I'll see you soon. Bye!